All right, today we are building project 2. This is laying brick to a line, and we're going to build small leads, 6 bricks high, 9 bricks long. Okay. One of the things we're going to need is a half brick, right? So a half brick is a header or an end of a brick. If you look at the length of one brick, you can see that one brick broke in half, the two ends equal the brick with one mortar joint. So instead of trying to cut the brick perfectly in half this way, we just break it and use that, and we have factory edges both sides. So I'm going to use that. I'm building small leads that are only going to be 4 bricks high at the most, and then I can add to it after. The bigger you build the lead, the easier it is to make mistakes, and then you have to tear more down. Spread, furrow, and bevel. So again, using the factory end, going this way. Will give me a better finish. And measure. Each course of bricks is 57 plus a joint is 67. So 2 courses and 2 joints should be 134. So I measure top to bottom. I don't measure individual because I want to add them up. If I'm high or low by a millimeter, the next course can make the difference. That should be 200. Just clean off the tails. That way this mortar isn't going higher while you're waiting to get to it. You can also check your range. So this is pointing towards that other end, right? I'm going from hopefully a plumb along the brick, so that everything points in the right direction. So I'm just going to do a 3-course lead. That gives me like practice. I can do a 3-course lead over here, fill that in, and then do 3 again. I could build the lead all the way up. Like I said, I'd have to put 2 more bricks here, add bricks here, then I'd have a big long lead. Do this, 2 bricks, equal 1 full block. So if you do this, a lot of bricks. That's how I know, and I like this right now, if I'm on that, then I'm not going to work out for another wall. And then across the top, I'm sure my middle on the brick. Here, if I do here, I have bricks across that. We're still across the top. So again, if you need to break a brick, simple way to do it, grab the brick firmly across like this, corner of this hammer, good sharp hit, it breaks. Obviously it's not perfect, but it doesn't matter because I'm using the end, right? Finished end out. Here, you should get a good view of spreading mortar. So you're going to spread the whole wall. If you spread the whole wall, you can't walk away until that mortar's cut. And in this case, that's not a lot of bricks. So you furrow, right? As I furrow, I change the angle of my trowel, get the mortar where I want it. Scoop off the excess. Normally I bevel, but I do that here. So in this case, I'm left-handed. I like working right to left. So when I do that, I put mortar on the end of this brick like that, instead of making a little pat, and then I can push it in against that one. I set my brick, scoop off my excess mortar. Right, so in this case, careful the camera there, but my brick should have a little gap between the brick and the line. Okay, it shows that, and then the same thing again. Right, again, I'm watching these, but I'm going to be lined up. If not, I'm going to have to adjust it back a little bit. Right. Ideally, you spread the right amount of mortar. You're not going to be tapping too much. The goal is to just squeeze the brick in place. Right. So push, get it down, and then bring it to the line. Like that. Lined up. Last brick, double butter. So I need mortar on both sides here. And then I need mortar here and here, because when I push this in, some of the mortar is going to stay behind. That's not ideal. So goes up, fits in. That one looks a little tighter than some of the other ones. If I had to, I could squeeze that back a bit. Keep all my joints consistent. Line goes up to the top of the next brick. Top of the line is the top of the brick. And then same thing again. Overlap you have, but if you do, you just check with one brick. This is the same length as the header, so I can check it this way. This should match up to here, and the end of that brick should match up to there. Put on a longer wall, I can check that, and then I know if I need to adjust more or less, bigger or smaller. The great thing about mortar is it allows us to make adjustments for our wall. So if this wall didn't work out to be exactly the length of the brick, but it was a longer wall, I could make adjustments with my mortar joints and not cut. Why do I want to cut bricks? I want full bricks. Mortar joints are adjustable. Cutting bricks is a waste of time if I don't have to. So this one needs something to help hold my line block, right? Because that block itself is going to be over the edge of the brick. So if I just put this as a weight and a holder, somebody didn't clean these bricks very well. I'm that somebody. There we go. My goal is I want full bed joints, full head joints, so when I joint later, I'm not filling in too much. The mortar's the right consistency and you spread the right amount, you really shouldn't be doing much tapping. Right? Now that I'm on my third course, I have the benefit of looking down and matching these up. Right now, every course, that first course fit, I know if I match those up, this course is going to fit. Right? So my cuts, if there's a course with cuts in it, the cuts won't change. Alright, so depending on how hard the mortar feels is when you're going to join. I think I can build leads again and then join. Just moving my line down, and that way it's out of my way, I can build my leads. So now another 3-course lead. In this case, I actually have to do a full and a half, right? Right, so a half. Full. So keep in mind your half is going to get moved around quite easily. So when you're setting it full against it, you can put your trowel down and then squeeze your brick to it. Back to level. Tell that's out a little bit. Plumb. Oh, that's a good guess there. And straight. Check in here. Now this is 4 courses. 3 courses was 200, so this should be 267. Using metric modular bricks, basically counting by 67. So 400. So in this project, jointing is a raked wheel joiner, so you can see that has this nail that sticks in. So what we do is we go across, make sure all our joints are full. You compress them, you add a little if it needs it. I always do all my head joints. The lead is going to be too soft. So I do all my heads, and then I do all the beds. So if I do this, I'm just filling that, getting it all compressed. Right. So you can see how these look now. They're all compressed. And now what I'll do is I'll rake them. So that was this side. Now I'm going to turn it over, use that. What this does is it cuts it out to a specified depth and keeps all of them the same. I generally don't make it very deep. Because the deeper it is, the less weather resistant the wall becomes. But the nice thing with this joint is it shows off the face of the brick, or the arris, that edge. The thing with joining is it's one of the most important parts of the job that people always seem to leave to the people with the least experience. Right? A lot of bricklayers don't like to join. So they leave it to the apprentice or the laborer who doesn't have the experience. Well, it's the first thing shown. All the way on one edge and then all the way on the other. So you'll see I keep the joiner all the way at the top. Make sure there's nothing at the top and then go all the way to the bottom. Right? Doesn't matter if you do bottom first or top first, but you got to hit both edges of that joint inside. Now you can see how that looks. Looks better, but it's still not perfect. It's not good enough yet. So what we need to do now, we brush it. If we brush it kind of on a 45, gets rid of all those crumbs. Cleans up the joint. I like to brush kind of aggressively. It makes a nice smooth inside that joint. Now, look at that. You can see again. You will notice that I put my level on the middle wall here. Because that's the line. You need to on the middle wall. Here. That's the line. You need to on the middle. So pick on me. Sometimes you kind of keep jumping. When that happens, you're not squeezing down for anything. That's it. That's it. Again, we brush. And that's it. Again, you can see how that looks. Get it from the end. All right.